When we turn up for the audit, we're going to expect to see some paperwork. This will involve testing records for your fire alarm system, your emergency lighting, and testing of your fire extinguishers. So it should be weekly testing of your fire alarm, monthly testing of your emergency lighting, and then some annual tests carried out by a competent person of your fire alarm and emergency lighting. We'll also want to see your fire risk assessment. We'll have a read through that and we'll discuss that with you and potentially point out some ways of improving your fire risk assessment. And also we'd like to see some staff training records and whether you've done evacuation drills, which should be done 6 monthly. We generally arrange a visit, so we'll send you a letter given an appointment. Generally gives you potentially 3 to 4 weeks to prepare. That's for a booked inspection for a fire safety audit. But if we receive a complaint from a member of the public or a member of your staff potentially, we can turn up unannounced to investigate the nature of the complaint and to see if it's been justified or not. So usually we'll give you notice, but if there's an urgent need for us to turn up, it can be an unexpected visit. No, there's plenty of competent risk assessors out there who do it for a living. If it's only a small business and you feel qualified and have sufficient knowledge, you can carry out your own fire risk assessment. But I would always recommend getting a competent third-party accredited fire risk assessor to carry it out for you. They'll have experience of writing previous risk assessments, potentially having done it for similar premises as your own, and will do a far better job than you can. Sometimes it's helpful for a third party to come in who's not aware of the premises and sees things from a clear perspective and not from your own perspective where potentially you may miss some of the hazards or risks that are apparent. If you look on the website, it tells you about a 5-step guide to carrying out a fire risk assessment. The first step is about identifying the people that are present, so that'll be your employees, customers, members of the public that may be on site, contractors, and you have to take into account their needs and potentially their knowledge or lack of knowledge with the premises. You need to then evaluate the risks on site and the hazards on site. So these will be the cause of fire. So you go back to your triangle of fire, so oxygen supplies, fuel and ignition sources. Then you need to put in measures to mitigate the risks that these present. These can be easy as making sure plug sockets are working properly, getting portable appliance testing done, through to making sure fire doors are doing their correct job and shutting properly into the rebates. Then you need to record these findings, put them down in your risk assessment, and then we would expect an annual review of the risk assessment, or when something significant changes in the premises, we'd expect your risk assessment to be reviewed to reflect the changes. Yes, we're not here to make life hard for you. We're here to help and make you compliant. So if we come and do an audit and find there are some deficiencies, and we send you a letter listing the deficiencies and the remedies, we can generally give you 3 months to complete the works. We'll then come back and do a follow-up visit, check the quality of the work and that you've done all the items that are on the schedule, and then we'll sign off as being compliant. And there's also the option we can extend it if you've done some of the work and they're showing due diligence and getting the work completed. There is the option for us to extend the timescale further. We operate by a risk-based inspection programme, which is a national programme, where we pay more attention to the higher life risks and the sleeping risks. So we're looking at hospitals, hotels, residential care homes, where we're going to be visiting once a year or every 2 years. Smaller businesses and shops and offices we tend to visit on a far more about 4 or 5 years. But potentially if we find a fault in premises or there's a fire or a theme of fires in similar premises, we can potentially come and visit you, every year if need be. Okay, well the website cheshirefire.gov.uk, the business safety section there has got plenty of resources and information available to you to know exactly what to expect when we turn up for a visit. There's also contact numbers and you can leave messages and we can get back to you to give you further information and advice before we visit you.